I can't see. Return it to me now. Yeah, let's see yourself again. Better. Hello, guys. Thanks for whoever has joined us so far. We had some technical difficulties in the start of the live, so we had to restart it, hence a new link. So I'm so sorry for the confusion. Thank you for everybody who has joined again. Um, I would like for you to talk in the chat, guys. Let me know who is here. I'm new to this YouTube live thing and I want to know who is with us. So just type something in the chat and let me know who is present so we can big you up. And thank you for the thumbs up for the 2 people who have given us likes so far. Please give us some more likes. Everybody just like the video. And while we're at it, make sure that you're subscribed to the Aria Lifestyle. It's nice having you here in the home of the Aria Lifestyle. We are hosting the book launch and reading for Jermaine's first book. Yes, Adrienne, thank you for letting me know you're here. And thank you, Christina. Thank you. Thank you for coming back. Thanks for your patience while we have such a, roughly rough start, but better late than never. And we have 8 people who have joined us. I need for us to do the roll call. I want to know who is here. 2 people have already signed in. Let me see who else is here. And while you're at it, guys, don't forget, thank you, Winsome, for joining. Don't forget to subscribe to the Aria Lifestyle, guys. Thank you, Matthew. Yeah, Matthew, we'll see you. Matthew, so walk on. It's nice to see my Jamaican people supporting. Beautiful, guys. Welcome. We're going to start pretty soon. The author is pretty ready and he's waiting to go. What we're going to do, guys, is we're going to have a couple of readings from the book. So don't feel sad that you don't have a book yet. If you don't have a book yet, it's okay. You're here at the reading and it's fine. We're going to be doing some readings from the book, so you will pretty much get an idea what the book is about. And if you are interested to go deeper, you can always purchase the book. There's a sale on the book and the sale is going on for another 24 hours. So if you have attended the reading and you are interested in getting a book, you can still get it on sale. Okay, guys? So just a couple more minutes to allow others to join. Hey, Angela, nice seeing you. Let's see everybody. Give the live a like and let me know who you are that you have joined, okay? I'm gonna turn towards the main screen now because we're gonna start. I'm gonna give it about 3-5 more minutes and then we're gonna get into it, okay, guys?
No, just unmute. See? Unmute it now. You tell me today. Sonny could say like you can't hear it.
It's on the mute.
Yeah, I think they're. I guess so. The true moderator.
Okay, so we are going to start. Welcome again. Welcome to the Aria Lifestyle. We are hosting the book launch and reading of questions and investigation of thought. Quite a thought-provoking title, if you ask me, and quite an interesting and easy read. We really want to congratulate Jermaine on this feat of writing a book. Many of us aren't really going to write a book in our lifetime. Some of us have never done it. Some people say they're going to do it, but Jermaine did it, and we're proud of him for it. And we are going to get into questions a little bit more right now, and we just want to give God thanks as we start. We want to thank the Lord for this accomplishment. And as we go into the next couple of minutes, delving into the work of what Jermaine produced, we really want to give thanks for him. God thanks for him. God thanks for his talents. And thanks for this task that he actually completed. And we want Jermaine to know that we are all proud of him. And everybody who is on the live is really in his corner supporting and saying, great job. So the format of this is going to be readings, right guys? So I want to start by giving Jermaine an opportunity, just a small intro to what inspired the book, just what inspired the book. And then we're going to do 4 readings that will kind of give you an idea of what this book is about. And you can feel free to ask questions on the live, and I will try to, pick up your questions and ask the author the questions, okay? He's gonna answer all of them. Okay, guys? So we're gonna start by introducing Jermaine Wilson, the author of this piece, this book, this body of work. We're gonna have him, give us a little background to the questions.
Hey everybody, thank you guys for joining the live. Can everyone hear me clearly? Just say yes if you can. If not, I'll use the microphone. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
All right, good. So
Yes.
I just want to say thank you to everyone who is on the live. A background on this, it's pretty simple. The title of the book, it's saying it. Questions, an investigation of thought. It's just questions. That's all it is. I had some questions. I keep asking myself these questions. I would ask others these questions. Some of these questions are just in my head, and as days go by, I would write down a few things, and then I just get a light bulb, like, hey, why not just put this in a book? And talk to my wife, and she said sure. She will definitely support me along the way, and it just happened. I started asking questions, writing down things, and this whole body of work just came together so easily. So it's just questions. That's all it is. All right. If you guys have questions, you can ask me. It's all about questions, all right?
Okay, so guys, I started to look at the chat to see if anybody had any questions yet, but you have a lot of time to ask these questions because we're going to do some readings from the book, and we are going to start. The book has 5 chapters, And 5 chapters, right, Jermaine?
It's a pretty short book. It's
Yeah,
definitely
it's
an easy read.
very easy read.
A lot of people who don't read that often, this is a good book to start with. It's so easy. It's like having a conversation, asking your friend some questions. So just give it a try. Just give it a try.
So it has 5 chapters, guys. And I remember when Jermaine was putting the book together, he was saying, is it too short? And I'm like, no, it's fine to be short, because we're unfortunately living in a world where people read less and they do audiobooks more because they can't bother to read. So reading is becoming extinct. So you want to kind of ease them in. And I think this body of work is perfect for that.
And some people just don't have the time as well.
And the time is really a real issue. Some people really don't have the time with their heavy schedules. And we call it an airport read. We call it a travel read. So if you're going to go on a long journey, well, it doesn't have to be that long.
Where you're not driving.
Where you're not driving, of course. Like an airport read is what I call it, you know. By the time you sit and wait for your flight, and by the time you sit on the plane and wait for it to get off or whatever, you're basically reading this entire book. Easy read. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 4 readings from the book, and we're going to start with Jamar, our 11-year-old, is going to do an excerpt of chapter 1. So let me, call Jamar. So let us get Jamar to come and do the very first reading from questions. I will continue to monitor the chat, guys, so feel free to submit whatever questions you have, and I will have Jermaine answer them, okay?
Welcome.
Is this where the signing is happening?
Yeah, so we have some people here in-house, and that's okay. So Jamar, come. You're going to do the very first.
Yeah,
David, you can sit here. Yeah. So Jamar's going to do the very first reading. Is he in?
Yeah, the same frame.
What's up, David?
Chapter 1. Should it be art or the heart of giving? Do you need a reason for doing the things you do each day? What are you willing to sacrifice? How much do you sacrifice each day? Living for yourself can be considered selfish, but is yourself not good enough to live for? Many times people will stay on the sidelines and try to analyze you and how much you do for others. A man with much to give can donate truly little and seem generous. This is because he has an abundance, while a man with extraordinarily little can donate most of what he owns, and yet it seems unimpressive. You can easily conclude that he is not generous because what he has seems so little. We live in a world where we are constantly being watched. Can you give without telling someone that you are a giver? Will anyone believe that you are a kind person if they have never seen you give? Do you ever wonder why some people make videos of their generosity? It is important for people to be labeled as kind because living in a world with so much hate can often feel like there's no hope. Some may say that making a video of yourself giving is seeking and boasting and being self-absorbed and even selfish because you want to be praised. Sometimes it is said that giving is for the receiver, not the giver. People will explain distinct reasons why they give, and there is much suspicion surrounding giving, but it should be simple giving out of the kindness of your heart.
Yeah, Jermaine.
Nice, Jamar. Thank you so much, Jamar. And that was a very thought-provoking, glimpse into chapter 1. See? Very easy. Jamar, you said what? You read 2 chapters in what? Like an hour?
No, it was like probably like 10 minutes.
Okay, so he's probably not the average kid, but he said he was through with 2 chapters in 10 minutes. But that's to give you some kind of understanding how easy this read is. It's one of those reads that you don't feel like you're reading, so I like that about this book. So we're now going to have a second reading, and this will be by our very close friend, our very good friend, Adrienne. She will be doing an excerpt of chapter 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, sing to if you want.
Chapter 2. Why do I need to prove myself, or do I? Do people feel the need to constantly prove themselves? It is a tendency often observed with many people, and it can cause problems leading to a person in a dark place, where they question whether they want to live. What leads a person to the feeling of, I am not enough? Is it the level of their accomplishments or lack thereof? Or is it how they are treated by others? Do your accomplishments determine how you are treated by others, or does it determine the level of respect you are given? It is sometimes said that people ask you what you do for a living so they can decide how they will treat you or how much respect they are going to show you. This statement may or may not have been proven true, but if it is true, it would certainly answer some questions. To what degree does getting approval impact our mental health? Can we live without it? Or is getting approval vital to our sanity? Many of us can relate to saying at least once in our lives, I don't care what others think about me. But is this entirely true? Do we care just a little or even a lot? If we are honest with ourselves, who do we live for every day? Is it for ourselves or is it for others?
It's a good place to end.
Thank you, Adrienne.
Wow, I see why the second part of the book heading was investigation of thought. Now, when Jermaine wrote, of course I have to be there to proofread and help him along the way. And when he gave me the first couple of chapters to kind of, look through, I'm like, okay, this is a little deep. Honestly, guys, I did not expect it to be this deep. To be honest, when he said he was going to write a book, I said to him, you're joking. And he said, what, you don't believe in me? And I'm like, no, I do believe in you, but I really honestly thought you were joking, right? And then I'm like, what are you going to write about? And then I said to him, okay, go ahead and just brainstorm, write whatever comes, whatever you're writing, just let me have something like 2 chapters. Because I really was honestly wondering if he was joking. But he was not joking, guys. And when I read the thing, I'm like, this is profound. And I saw where it could be really huge. I literally had to stop him and say, I think you can stop for book 1 now. So he is going to have book 2, guys. So get ready. Make sure you read this one because he is coming with a part 2. I literally had to stop him and say, it's okay, babe. We can publish this first. This is enough to start with. So this guy, he seems unassuming, but he has a lot of, I'm not going to say questions necessarily, but he's got a lot of thought and we really appreciate him. If you ask his friends, because I'm going to take the opportunity right now and read what's at the back of the book to describe the author. And it says, Jermaine O. Wilson, affectionately called Sango, is a musician performing artist extraordinaire, now writer, according to his friends, the therapist. So you see where we're going here, guys. The thoughts were always lingering somewhere. The therapist, the father, the husband, and the friend. Jermaine is very calm, analytical, deep thinking human being. He is sometimes dubbed as the devil's advocate. So he will purposely, guys, go on the opposite side of the argument just to give it some life. That's the guy. So that's why he's able to write a book, An Investigation of Thought, because he's always provoking and pinching at your thought, right? Sometimes you're wondering if he's upset or if he's mad at you, but he's not. He's just provoking thought. And that's pretty cool and was really in line with writing a piece as this. This is his first published book, introducing the possibilities of several to follow. In this riveting work, he provokes the thoughts of the reader, investigating which aspect of each question they can relate to. According to Germain, there is no right or wrong answer to each question, but he encourages the reader not to make the mistake of not investigating. I hope this book leaves you, and this is Germain talking now, I hope this book leaves you with a more comprehensive approach to thinking, promoting the habit of asking questions, and therefore reducing the temptation to stereotype. So I think that's solid, and I think that's pretty cool in terms of the thought pattern of a writer, because I have read many books that are hard to understand, super academic, jargon filled, and I'm wondering, what are they talking about? But this book can be understood by, you've heard the 11-year-old, and he thought it was an easy read. So we're now going into chapter 3.
Yeah.
That's your chapter? That's my chapter? No, that's your chapter. So Jermaine is going to read chapter 3.
All right.
Make sure you want to use the mic?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I use mine.
All right, guys, this feel a little bit strange, reading my own book. I must say that I actually had to refresh my memory with some stuff, just in case you guys have questions, okay? But I hear you snapping back there, Adrian. All right, cool. I don't even know what that means anyway. David, you gonna read that chapter 2?
Yeah,
You
of course.
understand?
Nice,
Alright,
nice.
cool. Yeah, man, I see it. Alright, guys. Questions. An investigation of thought. I'm gonna read chapter 3. I might read the whole chapter. I might stop halfway, but like you guys have been hearing, it's an easy read, so I might go through the entire chapter without even realizing, okay? So chapter 3, is the grass really greener on the other side? All right. Today we must be careful about thinking that the grass is always greener on the other side. We should focus on what we have and trust the process of our growth. Not everyone will grow quickly, but we will grow if we are consistent with our dedication and hard work. For some, success may be achieved with less effort. With others, hard work is still accompanied by some form of failure before there is a breakthrough. Maybe we're from a wealthy family, or we might have been fortunate to have won the lottery. We may find ourselves in a position where we have a partner who is wealthy. Most people will have to work hard. Working hard is something that is common. Working hard will help us to appreciate everything that we have accomplished. We should not become jealous of someone else's assets or wealth but be grateful for what we have. We need to focus on, what we need to focus on is comparing ourselves to our own potential and not to others. We ought to be careful of what we see on the screens because it is not always like that in real life. Anyone can create a scenario that is not an everyday reality for them. They can record and edit to create a narrative reflective of the message they desire to communicate. An example of this is that not every material thing that may be shown on some videos is owned by the people in them. We all need to be aware of people who are living a life that may be misleading and not a true representation on social media. In times like today, where we have social media, so many of us get fooled into believing that what we see in social media is reality. We think that what is posted is how these individuals are living. We all have the potential to do remarkable things, but there are various levels of and perceptions of greatness. It all depends on how we feel about what we have. We must understand that what we see is not always what is true. Whenever we become envious of someone that we do not truly know, we can become misguided and may even get to the point of depression. Whenever we do get the opportunity to understand a little bit more of what we're jealous about, most times we recognize that we are in a better place than we perceived initially. If we get the opportunity to meet some of the people, we're likely to be surprised. An example of this is when we admire someone on social media and we meet them and understand their story. We may have a unique perspective of who they are. We may become even more admirable of them because of their journey, or we may become less jealous because we are now in appreciation of what we have. We all have special things that we can do. Everyone is special in his or her own way, and we all play a part in this huge world to make it what it is. We each have the responsibility to find our talent and passionately use it and focus our energy on developing it. Some people may have multiple talents and many might have one, and that is the reason we have to spend the time and search within to find that talent and not focus on what others are doing. Most times we will surprise ourselves. We should not assume that because we see a close friend or a family member accomplishing milestones using different talents, working hard at their goals, and becoming successful, that we should follow them. We should not compare ourselves with them. We need to know that their path is not our path, and it is not necessarily appropriate to follow. We need to stop looking over on the other side and stop assuming that things are good or always good over there. Sometimes we must walk our own path, create our own memories, and also pursue our own dreams. And that is chapter 3. I went through the whole chapter. Okay, thank you guys for staying on. Are you coming back?
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I was trying not to read a chapter. I thought I was doing enough, but clearly it wasn't. But my favorite chapter, honestly, I mean, I like all of them, but my favorite chapter was chapter 4. And it's really short, so I'm going to try to get through chapter 4 for you guys. And the reason why I like chapter 4 so much is because I'm always told that my dreaming is really huge, and some people think I'm super crazy. But I think if you don't dream, you can't achieve, right? So that's why chapter 4 is mine. Let me go read. What is so wrong with daydreaming? How often do we fantasize? Kiba was about 10 years old when she realized her life was different from her friends at school and church. Growing up in a humble home can build one's character in ways that can make or break the individual. But for Kiba, it did both. As a 10-year-old, Kiba started doing what some may refer to as daydreaming. She would often think about what her life would be, what it would be like if she were born into a different family. Some days, Kiba would pretend to be a princess, and some days her character would be like someone she admires at school or at church. Her imagination would run wild and many times begin to feel like reality to her. Kiba once daydreamed for over 30 minutes, thinking she was a princess living in a castle with her own servants and had the authority to order people around. How often can a 10-year-old tell a grown up what to do? Certainly, while they are daydreaming, it is surprising how the role changes. A kid giving her parents chores to do, being sent to bed early, being reminded to eat her vegetables, and of course, being told no ice cream allowed before bed. A kid's imagination is powerful and can run wild at times. Adults, however, are well aware of the challenges to make these dreams reality, and this creates a block to our daydreaming. Another characteristic of a daydreamer is that of profound desire to make the daydream a reality, that there was a determination by Kibo to observe what was necessary to get her equipped for that fantasy life she daydreamed about. So she would often listen in silence. Learning to listen more and talk less at a tender age is priceless. Kiba was not the type of child who would interrupt an adult conversation. Instead, she would listen if she were allowed and try to learn something. Many people struggle with this trait in their adult life. Listening is especially important and waiting until it is your turn to speak. If you only wait on your turn to speak and not listen, you may not hear all that is being said. Church was also a place of information for Kiba. Listening in Sunday school and during church services was important. Kiba recognized that she learned something each time she went to church, and this she shared with her friends at school. At this tender age of 10, she would be teaching about kindness and love before she fully understood what it meant. From time to time, she would ask about wealthy families and ask why her family did not have such abundance. Being a good listener, she quickly understood. These questions would often follow with long sessions of daydreaming. Kiba was optimistic about becoming wealthy someday. Growing with a purpose will give you motivation to stay positive and keep you on path. Sometimes we get distracted and take our eyes off the prize. Staying focused is one of the ways to be successful. If you have a goal, do not give up. Keep pushing and keep on trying. Sometimes as adults, we daydream about various aspects of life. Sometimes it is about relationships, and sometimes it can even be about having control at work. Daydreaming is not always about a fantasy life and the fandangles. You can daydream about having a better relationship with your partner, having a better relationship with your kids, or having a better relationship with your boss at work. Why do we go into this imaginary land? And there are advantages, guys, as you can see. If you have the book, and for those of you who haven't bought the book yet, you can still buy the book. Whenever you buy the book, you will see that the book also has some diagrams. Pretty much some people relate to diagrams better than words. So there's a diagram here, and I find it interesting that it says advantages to daydreaming. And when I was growing up, daydreaming was never something that was considered a positive thing, right, Jermaine?
Yeah, definitely.
It was always something that was frowned upon. Stop daydreaming and come back to reality,
Back to
right?
reality, yeah.
Yeah. So the advantages of daydreaming I found, interesting. Motivation to succeed, being driven, goal oriented, appetite to learn more, surrounding oneself with ambitious people. I'm not going to read the disadvantages because I think we kind of tell ourselves too much of the disadvantages. This is my interpretation. So my encouragement after reading chapter 4?
Yeah.
Chapter 4, guys, we normally look at daydreaming in a negative way. I encourage you, just like Jermaine has, try to look on it from a different angle. Daydreaming is pretty cool, especially when you put that daydream, break it apart, and say, I'm going after this, and you actually achieve it. So, yeah, my few words and reading.
Yeah. Definitely. Guys that are still on, still appreciate you being there. We have a few people here with us today who are in-house. Have another friend who is gonna read a portion of the book. His name is David. He's my friend. He's a band member, bass player, dub-wise.
So I get to read from my favorite chapter of the book, chapter 5.
Alright,
So
okay.
I've chose the first 4 paragraphs of chapter 5 to read. So chapter 5 is titled, Is It Practical to Always Consider the Feelings of Others? What type of person would intentionally hurt another person emotionally? What does it take for someone to do such a thing? Some may say it could be caused by being a victim of emotional hurt themselves. Some may say it's revenge, and it may also be said that it's plain cruelty and being evil. If you've been hurt before, then you would have known the pain of being hurt. So why would you want to inflict such pain on another person? The act of hurting others may be a learned behavior, especially if demonstrated by someone in a parental role. If someone hurts as a form of revenge, how is it determined that the pain that should be inflicted to equate to the same pain that you once had to endure? I believe trauma could be one of the main reasons why a person would intentionally try to hurt someone emotionally. Often, we come across individuals who are so quick to be defensive without taking the time to listen and analyze what is being communicated to them. One could say that a person who is familiar with being hurt or taken advantage of is always on the defensive side and quick to respond without the full essence of what is really taking place. Is it that such a person is trying to hurt before getting hurt? Would you say something mean to a person just because you think they might eventually be mean or unkind to you? How do we get to that place where we treat everyone with respect and try to give the benefit of doubt to everyone? Some may say it's not practical to consider the feelings of everyone, but why would anyone think that? How do you consider the feelings of others and what you are doing to be careful not to hurt someone? Sometimes a simple think before you talk can fix much of this problem. When you're addressing someone, do you feel like you would be fine if they addressed you in the same way?
Yeah. David. Thanks, David. Big up yourself, man. All right. Go on, bro.
Yeah, guys, you guys get to experience what I was experiencing when I was supposed to be reading over, and helping Jermaine to put this together. I thought it was absolutely amazing. I was proud of him, but I had to keep my mouth shut because he wanted to be a secret. So many people didn't even know he was writing, and he wanted to publish in time for his birthday, and with some help from the rest of the family in Jamaica. Big up to Daddy. Daddy, I think Daddy's on. Daddy, say something in the chat so people can know. Daddy and my sister Sonnet, and of course my other sister. She's a little bit deep, and because we were rushing, no we didn't want to not include our other sister, but she would have not been done reading in time for us to publish it for his birthday. That's the only reason. But I know she has read the book and she has given her thumbs up. So the whole family supported Jermaine in getting his deadline met. So we were happy that he was able to publish on his birthday, April 25th. And this book, you know, got some thoughts coming through Jermaine. Inspirational is the main word that is being used, and that's pretty amazing. I want you guys to throw any questions you have. We are going to give the floor back to Jermaine. I'm sure there's something like probably culminative, like, you know, summarizing that you want to leave with your people, you know?
Well, I mean, if you guys have any questions, feel free, just put it in the chat. I don't know if anyone guys here have any questions, but honestly, my main thing is I don't really have a lot to say, but the chapters. Let's go to the chapter. So as you guys can see that each chapter is a question. Just ask yourself these questions, and just, if you don't have an answer, take some time, think about it, and try to get some help to get answers for these questions, because the questions might seem very simple, but these questions will help you to get through your everyday life. These questions can help you to be a better person. These questions can help you to treat others in a kind way. These questions can simply just help you to just change your perspective on certain things. You'll be surprised as to how others felt about how you treat them. So just ask yourself these questions. Just look at each chapter, even before you read the chapter. Just look at the question and just ask yourself the question. And then you can take time, read through the book, but I would say just ask yourself the questions and then you read. Okay, see if you have an answer before you start reading each chapter. But just ask me the question. It's all about questions. Anyone have any question in the chat, Ari?
Let me check again. Let me see anyone over here. You see one? Let me talk about the chat. What was your favorite question to ask? Like
In the book itself?
Yeah.
Honestly, it is chapter 1. You know, I read chapter 3, but it is chapter 1.
Okay.
Where it says, should it be the art or heart of giving? I hope you guys understood that part of the. I hope you guys understood the question. When I say should it be the art or heart of giving, are you giving for an art or are you giving from your heart? So that was my favorite question in the book. Yeah, because a lot of people give just to show that they're giving, especially in this new age with social media. You can't just give anymore without making a reel or making some type of video. Sometimes it works because some people might do it and then someone else just follow suit, and there are people who are receiving because people are doing that, but what is the intention behind doing that? So it can be both. Yeah, like I said, these questions, no right or wrong answers. You can be given from your heart in a way of art, I guess. But yeah, that was my favorite question to ask.
Okay, Wesley, which is not the West that you think it is, and West is like, hey to the other West in the chat.
Oh,
But,
West is...
but the question was, the point of the book was to get people thinking. And I will say that I did find the questions coming back up in my head for one reason or the other and start mulling them over and re-mulling them over again.
Right.
So that's this a comment,
Okay.
but I
okay.
needed to read it because it was very, especially chapter 1 and 2.
Right. And that's the whole point of the book, like I was saying earlier, is to ask yourself these questions. But if you read the book, you will be asking yourself these questions. Okay? Because there are questions, that you ask yourself each day, but you might just brush them off. But stop and think about it and actually try to find answers for these questions.
Your father-in-law says, congrats once more to the devil's advocate of Willowstone. I anxiously await part 2.
Okay. It is coming. Part 2 is coming. Yes, it is coming. There are nothing to give away as yet, but it is coming. Just patiently await yourself.
You had questions, placed them in the book. What are your thoughts as to the source of answers to questions?
Well, these questions.
Bethune is asking this.
That's it. So, all right. What I would say, right? Like I said, there are no right and wrong answers to these questions. So, I would not have an answer.
She wants to know your thought, it's just your opinion of what source of answer should be to these questions.
To any particular question or all the questions?
I guess she's trying to say what would be your suggested source. What are your thoughts as to the source of answering questions generally? It seems she said 2 questions.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I understand what she's saying.
Yeah.
Well, I would say be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. And if you don't have answers to any of these questions, you can seek answers. You can seek answers in many different ways.
Yeah.
You can ask your peers. You can ask your family or friends. Just ask them the question and ask them what they think about you as a person. If you are brave enough to give someone the question and have them use the same question to speak of you, you can do that as well. But just be honest with yourself and just take time and think about the question, not just brush it off. Just think about the question, be honest with yourself, and if you don't have the answer, just seek help. But it's good to know the answers.
And another question from Olivia Christina. If you could ask yourself a question right now in this moment, what would it be?
If everybody liked the book.
Good one. So guys, you heard his question. Does everybody like the book? Everybody that likes the book needs to like this live.
Yeah.
And that's the way of saying you like the book. Okay? Everything Watagwan says, not sure who that is, love that name. Everything Watagwan says, simple, philosophical, realistic, thought-provoking, and spiritual. Congratulations, job well done. From Mr. Christie.
Okay, everything
Says
was
Mr.
a
Christie. So
thank you very much,
I guess
Mr.
you're supposed to
Christie.
know who that is.
Yeah. Oh yes, I know who that is. I know who that is. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And Adrienne Thompson says, the questions also allow you to investigate your own life. You may find answers there.
Yes.
That's a good comment.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. And I think if you keep the answers in the back of your mind, this is Wesley says, I think if you keep the answers in the back of your mind, the answer will come through life experiences perhaps.
Yes,
So that's
true.
a very good one. Thank you, Wesley. They stick in the back of your mind somehow.
Yeah, it is true. You might not know right then and there, but eventually, as you live each day, you will get the answers. Yeah, so keep the questions there, yeah.
Yeah. So, Okay, everything wants to go on is winsome.
Yeah, I know. I would so.
Yeah, she said I have to say winsome. Right, so guys, I don't know, Jermaine, do you have anything else? We don't want to keep it too long. It is Saturday, and I know that the people who are in my house right now are smelling my food. I'm so sorry, guys, that you're not able to partake, but I'm sure, continue to be a part of the Aria lifestyle, and you see a lot of food, right? And I want to say thank you so much, guys, for joining this live. This is the Aria lifestyle, and I'm going to ask you to subscribe before you leave, because that would be really nice. Subscribe to the Aria lifestyle. We do everything lifestyle, inspirational stuff, everything to make you feel like you want to make your life better. So we invite you in our household in the Aria lifestyle. We have weekly vlogs. You will see the family, and we try to encourage. At the end of everything that we do on the Aria lifestyle, we try to encourage positive, spiritual strength, and go for what you really want and focus on becoming better people. That's what we're about here, and we really thank you guys for turning up for Jermaine, because this was indeed an amazing feat, and we are proud of him. We thank you very much for joining us, and we are going to close the live and give it a thumbs up before you go. Subscribe to the Aria lifestyle, and I want to see you guys around commenting and stuff on videos that we do. Sometimes Jermaine appear in the videos, especially the dance ones. So so you will see us. So thank you guys for joining, and we will see you again soon. I have tried to capture what's in the chat so that Jermaine can go and see all the well wishes. You guys are really lovely and kind. We thank you so much. Have a good rest of your Saturday evening as we go off to eat. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for